think I may have some tiny little bits of fibre fluff caught in the surface. This is a rubber. This is also a rubber, although the rest of you call it an eraser and snigger at us behind our backs. Now, I think it's a video by Michael Thames that I saw recently where he uses this to French polish, and there seems to be some merit in this, in that you can get in close to the areas around the fretboard. And this is important for me because as brilliant as this finish is now starting to look, and it's so flat and smooth, I was hardly getting any coverage around the fretboard. And you can still see the sanding marks, although I think I need to do a little bit of sanding. So I'm going to see whether I can get right in with this and improve the look of it around the neck, because that's the one bit I feel at the moment that's letting it down. While I'm doing a little bit of extra sanding, I am going to just take the tops off a couple of places. I didn't quite get down flat yesterday with the sanding, and I think I'm just going to gently finger sand just to take the tops off the little bits where I was just dripping a little bit of shellac onto a few little holes here and there to try and fill them. So a little bit of sanding, a whole load of polishing. Let's do it. Surprising how just that tiny little bit of sanding is affecting the colour, so I think there was not much clear shellac over the top of this. I think I might have introduced a slight line there. I'm not sure. It still looks quite thick there. Sheet of cloth slightly bigger than I usually work with. Fold it in two, and again. Put the eraser in the middle. And now we have a nice edge that will get right up to the edge of the neck. Now this is cotton, this is a cotton polyester. In the video I saw, the cloth looked to be a bit wider weave and possibly a bit more absorbent. So I'm going to be very conservative with how much polish I put on this, because clearly this is not going to hold as much as the traditional fad with the cotton wool, the round bit. So I reckon 10 drops of shellac maybe. This is £2 cut, so we're going to dilute it. Yeah, that's sitting on the surface. Well, obviously it is. It's not going to absorb in. Eight drops of alcohol. Just put the lids on all my jars. And I'm still going to put 1 drop of olive oil, which proportionally will be, of course, more olive oil. Let's see how I get on. already it's clear that I'm getting much closer into the neck. But let's do the whole body. I think we've run out already, so we need to recharge. That might have been a couple of drops more than 10, but we'll see. I keep the caps on everything so that I don't get any evaporation. Also, alcohol will absorb moisture. One thing I don't think I did last time was to blot it, but mix it up, but I think on such a small pad that's probably not necessary. Momentarily got the pad caught. It's difficult to do this in a sweeping movement, but I guess go right up to the neck as part of the sweep. Sort of a series of movements where you nudge up to the neck, maybe. Say neck, fretboard. It's part of the neck. This is the trickiest bit, trying to butt up in the rosette without getting the pad stuck. I also seem to be getting a bit of dust. This isn't going as smoothly as the traditional fad. Maybe I need more oil. Yeah, I've definitely roughed the surface up here. You can hear it in the... You should be able to hear that. But I guess we just keep going. It will, I'm guessing, correct itself. Let's go again, but I won't start here. I'll move into that area and see if that helps. No, now I'm getting a bit of a drag here as well. So, while this may be a good way of getting close to the neck, I'm not sure it's the best way of polishing. It could be I'm not using enough oil. although 1 drop per charge was plenty yesterday. It is a good deal warmer today. That is looking better actually, but still we've got this sound here that shows that it's a little bit rough. I find it odd that hearing is one of the senses that you need. You'd think this is mostly visual, but a lot of it is feel, and some of it is sound, it's auditory. Ooh, that immediately... No, that was sticking. And yet out here, it's fine. I'll land over here. I keep going to these places first, and it's possible I'm starving the other areas of polish. I don't know. This seems to be rougher than these areas. Let's see how we get on. But I have been applying polish here because I can see that all the sanding marks have disappeared. And now this feels rough. This is strange. It's wherever I land. It seems to take on a certain roughness. I guess it's sticking. Maybe it's because I'm not using enough olive oil, but I'm effectively using more olive oil in terms of the proportion because I'm putting less shellac on the fad. This time I'm using 2 drops of olive oil, wondering whether perhaps there's no olive oil at the edges when I first go onto the surface. No, that's immediately dragging. You might be able to hear the difference. This is now the rough area, whereas it's lovely and smooth over here. It's not bad up here now actually. Seems wherever the spot that you land, that's where you're going to get some of the polish taken away. I mean, by polish I mean smoothness. There's clearly a certain roughness to the surface just here. Well, let's just keep going. This time I'm going to, there's the olive oil, this time I'm going to just see if I can mix the olive oil in with the pad first before going onto the guitar. See if that makes a difference. And I'm going to go on here and see if this bit gets sticky. And yes, it gets sticky. For the final few coats, I'm going to go back to the traditional pad with cotton wool inside and a single layer of cloth. And put a lot more shellac on it. Single drop of olive oil. Let's see if this goes on any better. could just be the heat in here. It is quite warm in here. Maybe it's just the initial coats are drying too quickly, I don't know, but this was sticking initially there, but then that was already fairly rough from the previous application, so who knows. Just know that at the moment it doesn't feel like I'm getting a high polish. Although the coverage I think is more even up here. So we've had some success with using that the eraser, the rubber. I think this time I'll go straight up here and see if I can get more polish around the fretboard. Oh, it's gripping. Yeah, so in blaming the eraser might not have been entirely fair. It may just be the temperature. Yeah, this is sticking like crazy now. It's okay down here. In fact, I think I've caught a little bit of dust in the surface. Oh boy. I'm going to put an extra. There you go. I'm going to put a spot of put some olive oil on there. Just see if we can burnish this out. Not keeping the pad moving quickly enough. Definitely give myself a rough spot just there. Everything went so perfectly yesterday. It just felt so smooth and easy. And today I seem to be struggling a bit. Can you hear how that almost sounds abrasive up there, just here, whereas it's nice and smooth down here, and in fact lovely and smooth here, which was abrasive earlier. So it's just a matter of polishing, really. And that is really grabbing. I'm wondering whether to go again. The whole of this area feels great, but this one patch here, looking at it, I think I may have some tiny little bits of fibre fluff caught in the surface. And I'm wondering whether it was the way I was holding my pad, whether I was allowing this part to drag across the surface of the guitar. I think I need to be a bit more careful to hold it here. I'm not sure about this, but it's a possibility. But the guitar's looking great apart from this area here. One more session, see if we can get that a little bit better. Let's go on over here. Still just has a rough sound to it. In fact, I think I might have made it slightly worse. It could just be I've got to leave this, let it all dry hard, and then go again and just build layers up over the top of it. It's not like I've ruined it, but it's I haven't left it perfect the way I'd want it. In fact, I've got it a little bit rough here as well. seems to be wherever you go in with the pad first of all. I guess a lot of shellac goes on in that initial application, and then it just gets roughened up. I sneaked in some extra coats while you weren't looking. This really is the last one. I just want you to listen, and you should hear that this is a lot better now. There is a slight little bit of stickiness here, for whatever reason. I probably stopped briefly there or something and it's stuck, I don't know, but it's generally pretty smooth now and you can hear it, so listen. You may hear very, very slight hiss when I get there, but generally speaking it's a lot smoother. You can hear that hiss there. Maybe there. It's very slight. And I'll do one final burnishing step just to get rid of some of the swirls. Well, I managed to recover. I'm quite pleased with this. It's all looking very smooth. I think also that the surface relaxes a bit after you leave it, and it looks nicer now than when I stopped the French polishing. So I don't know whether that's, I don't know whether olive oil evaporates or whether it's just the shellac, which would still be soft, or whether it perhaps relaxes a little bit after you stop polishing. I'm not sure, but it is looking really nice now, and I've definitely recovered. I guess this was an experiment in comparing the idea of using a rubber fad to the traditional cotton wool fad. And initially I was a little bit disappointed because of the sticking problems I was getting, which I wasn't getting yesterday. When I say yesterday, it might be a week ago when you're watching this video. Depends when I schedule these videos to go out. But I think there might have been environmental conditions. It was quite warm in here. It has cooled down a little bit now. I opened up a window. I normally work with the door open, but it was so windy today I didn't want things blowing around. I have gone and watched Michael Thames's video, and it was Michael Thames who's using the rubber fad. And he uses a lot more oil than I do, and maybe this is what I need to do. But I don't think this is a difference between the rubber fad technique and the cotton wool fad technique, because I was getting the sticking problems with the cotton wool fad today, but not yesterday. So maybe I need to use more oil. I was just using 1 spot of oil per charge of the rubber. I don't know. I am learning. This is a learning experience for me. I'm sort of feeling my way, trying different things, and trying to arrive at something which I'm happy with, a technique that I will then continue to use. So I'm always open to ideas. Michael Thames was using paraffin oil, I'm using olive oil. I think I prefer olive oil, it seems more natural. I'm using all natural ingredients here. So yeah, experimentation. What else can I try? I don't know, maybe that's it now. I don't know how many more coats of this I will do, but I guess I'll film it. But if I'm not really showing anything new, I might just try to just edit the videos down quite short. I'm sure you don't want to be watching absolutely every coat of shellac, do you? Perhaps not in real time, maybe. So I hope this was useful. If you found it useful, click like, subscribe, share the video, and I'll see you again. Bye.